Hello, my Teacher King family. Just putting in my daily have a nice day. So, how's everybody today? I am better. It was very hot here yesterday, and my apartment was extremely hot. It was 90 degrees out, which was unseasonable for Michigan. We get into the 70s and 80s, but this was 90, 95. My apartment got up to 82, so I decided to turn the air on. Very rarely turned the air on in my old apartment. I just didn't need it. I was on the base on the bottom, and the guy would put the air conditioning on the top, and it would filter down, and I basically get his air conditioning. And anyway, so let's look at our gold real quickly, and we see it was 45.80, and now it's 45.44. So it stays in the 45s. It's really not getting much lower, but where's the 48? Where's the 5,000? Part of it is, and this, I'm trying to make heads or tails out of it. Oh, Turkey's selling their gold to buy oil. Why? Well, their dollars aren't worth it, so they just keep printing more. That doesn't make sense. They should be able to just print more. The gold probably has more of a value, but that shows you the problem when you print too much. It goes out. So, okay, let's assume they're selling. It would have to be paper gold because selling physical gold would not change this price. So let's assume it's paper. And so they're selling paper to buy oil because the oil price is higher. Who knows? And then you have silver at 76.70. It was just at 78. And then all of a sudden 10 o'clock shows up and it went from 78 to 76.50. I love how it drops $1.30 because it's the 10 o'clock drop. Anyway, so it's back to 76.68. Again, we don't really worry about it. You have the physical. And as I say, you have to get out of the dollar. And the only option really is gold and silver. Bitcoin's not an option. So that's where you're at. I might get interrupted by a door knock for maintenance. Turning on the air yesterday, I checked all the vents and they seemed dirty. I was like, fuck, didn't they clean anything before? Don't you prep the apartment? And then my doorbell buzzer doesn't work. So when I had the IKEA guy who was going to put the IKEA together, the TV stand, he's buzzing. I don't hear it. I buzz now. Nothing happens. So that's, again, another thing they didn't check. Looks like they will help on the fridge. They sent the manager over Friday, but I was out between getting the glasses, see how they're fixed now. They're even. So getting them, and then I went to the car wash and vacuum. There's car washes here. You don't have to necessarily get the car wash, and you can use the vacuums for free. It's like if you go to Discount Tire, they'll fill your tire with air, especially in the winter, for free. And you see people at the gas stations paying whatever to fill their tires with air. Just go to Discount Tire. It takes 5 minutes. They get you in and out, and that's it. So anyway, so I did that. I checked the laundromat because I don't have a washer dryer in the apartment, and I could have got one, but it would have been like $300 more. And I said, "Fuck it, it's just." They do have that, and then I was at the laundromat next to the car wash, and I have this big comforter, and I got a bloody nose, so I got some blood on it. So they said use hydrogen chloride or hydroxyl chloride, something, or fingernail or nail polish remover. So I got the nail polish remover. So I'm going to try that on there just to get it out. And this is a second. I bought a new comforter. So this is like a second. And so I'll see. I won't be able to use the washer here, I doubt. I will use the washer for just regular, my T-shirts, my shorts, my towels, stuff like that. It's $275, and I thought, oh, that, let's see what that is. And at the laundromat, everything was like, it's going to be $575 to do my comforter. And it's going to be, I think it was like $4.75 or $4 just to do the regular load. All of a sudden, $2.75 doesn't look bad. But again, you get spoiled. I had a washer dryer in my apartment, so you have to be careful with that. Anyway, enough domestic stuff. So the golf tournament, never heard of the guy who won. Don't really care. I'm so tired of this Steve Scheffler guy or Scott Scheffler guy. It's like, shut the fuck up already. I hate when they call him the world's number one rank because he's not. If he was world's number one, he would have won. He's not. Alabama's the number one college football team, right? And they win the games and they go undefeated. That's why they're number one. But if they lose to Georgia, they're not number one anymore. So I fail to understand golf's rankings. I never understood it with Tiger Woods. He was always number one. He hadn't played in 2 years. He's the number one rank. You're like, no, he's not. And this whole ranking golf and tennis is just a joke. I mean, who are they kidding? Tiger, you could throw up, but with Scott Scheffler, no, he's not the number one. Jeez, it's not even close. You got other guy. How about this guy who won yesterday? Well, he's number one. He won. Or Rory, he won the Masters. He should be number one. So it makes no sense that it's a cumulative effect over a year. And no, it's Alabama loses. They're not number one anymore. It's a very up to date system. Anyway, basketball, go figure. Cleveland kills Detroit 126-94. They win by like 30 points. That's why we did not bet it. I did have I took Detroit, but not without a bet, just thinking, well, they'll probably win. They won game 6, but now the pressure's on Detroit, and I saw they're not a pressure team. So they won the first 2 games, no pressure. They lost the 2 at Cleveland when there was pressure to win to close the series out. Then you get game 5 in Detroit, and they have to win to make sure there's a game 7 in Detroit, and they lose it. But then when their back's against the wall, which it wasn't in game 5, it was in game 6, they win. So now you don't know what the fuck. So I think yesterday was very much pressure on Detroit. They couldn't handle it. And that's the problem when you've never been there. They beat Orlando only without Franz Gruber and Hans Gruber, and that was it. So you were down 3-1 when he played. He gets hurt. I question that he should have played anyway with the calf injury. He should be out there. Terrell Owens played with a broken ankle in the Super Bowl. I think he could have played. Mahomes had that bad high ankle sprain, and he beat Cincinnati, and then so come on, give me a break. So then we have so now we got Cleveland and New York. The way New York handled Philadelphia and Philadelphia handled Boston, I think New York wins that series relatively easily. And I'm not really sure what to do with I think Cleveland will win one of the 2 games at home, game 3 or game 4, and they'll lose 4-1. As far as Oklahoma against San Antonio with Winnebago, it's going to be tough there. I have a feeling that it'll be a tight series. I think I'll take San Antonio games 3 and 4. But it's, I think, a dead even. I don't know that Oklahoma. Oh, we'll see if Oklahoma's that strong. Now, Oklahoma probably starts out winning game 1, and then it gets interesting, right? San Antonio just got done with Minnesota, and the only reason they lost is because the guy got ejected ejected for the elbow, which was the worst call I've ever seen in my life. Well, it was flagrant. No. He was going for a rebound. Everybody does that. You get the rebound and you do. That's a normal thing. He didn't like throw the elbow. He didn't like come down like Greg the Hammer Valentine or Jim the Anvil Neinhardt. He didn't do like an attack with the elbow. He didn't get him in a figure 4 like Ric Flair would have done. Then I would have seen you throw him out if you got him in a figure 4. Anyway, so that's basketball again. So that's why I didn't bet Detroit. I hope Nick didn't bet it. I didn't really give it out. I just kind of You put a gun to my head, I'll take Detroit, but I wouldn't bet a nickel on it. I don't trust them, and that's why. Now let's go to baseball. What a huge day I had. Just a second, I want to record something. I'm doing this so you can get a feel of the noise I'm listening to, driving me crazy. Okay. So they're supposed to come from my fridge, but it's like when the TV repairman used to come out and then you wouldn't have, it would be working fine. And, only when the repairman comes is it working fine. So they're supposed to send somebody out for the fridge and then they can hear how loud it is. Anyway, real quick. One second. Okay. So let's look at yesterday. I almost ran the table. Very hot. It was a 15-unit day. That's the second Sunday, so I'm doing well on Sundays. So let's start it. We have Miami over 7. They lose 6-3, but that's fine. We have Philly under 7, and Philly wins 6-0 over the Pirates. That was a 3-unit play. We have Atlanta over 8.5. And Atlanta wins 8-1. So that's an over, W. Baltimore over 10. We got a push, but we didn't play it. It was just there. But it was 7-3, so that's a push. Yankees over 8.5, and we hit them again. They lose 7-6, but that's plenty over 8.5. Cincinnati over 8.5. They lose 10-3. So we had a pretty high scoring game. Meanwhile, all wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0. We have Toronto. They win 4-1 over Detroit. That was an easy one. That was like stealing. That's 6-1. We got the White Sox over 9, and they win 9-8. Beautiful game there. St. Louis. The only reason we bet this game was KC was on a losing streak, which they won. So KC wins 2-0. I didn't think the pitching was all that. The total on the game was 9.5, so it was a really strange way. So that was my loser. Then I got the 49ers over 9.5. They win 10-1. Thank you very much. And then the Dodgers, as the Angels are on a losing streak, the Dodgers are on a winning streak. The Dodgers win 10-1. And there we go. And then the last game, we have Seattle, and they lose 8-3. So that was the loser. So I go 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 9-2. 9-2 gets me 15 units because I had some 3-unit games. And there you go. You can't do much better. So with that, I'm going to start selling the picks. I'll give you one more day today where we will go over, and I'll give you the units, and then we're going to start. And so normally, what I do is we do you buy the week. Like football, you don't buy. Some kids try to get clever and go. They'd buy on Wednesday and they go, well, I got till next Wednesday, so they would get this weekend and then part of the next week. I said, no. It goes. The NFL goes Tuesday to Monday, right? So Monday night ends the week, and that's why you hear it: week 1, week 2, week 3. So you buy the week in football. Now that's 75 for college, 75 for pro, and 100 for both pro and college. You get all my teasers. And in baseball, we're going to go week, which will go. I guess we'll go Monday to Monday. Monday to Sunday, I guess, and $25. And there's no college to worry about. And no, I'm not doing women's fastball, high fast pitch. So it'll be $25. You get the week. You get a weekly password, and you just go in, and it's just like football. Only there's no teasers, so you'll just see, like I did yesterday, Miami over 7, and I'll put down 2 units. And I'll make it $2 because the amount's not really the important thing here. It's just the units to play, and your bankroll is determining how much you play it for. So a 2-unit play is going to be whatever your unit is. So if you're just kind of an average, or it's baseball and I want to bet a lot, it might be 25 a game, 50 a game, whatever your level is. And then everything will be listed. And I have to do it daily, but I can give you the weekly password, and then you'll just go into the next day. That's what I do. In college, you get the whole week. So if they play a Thursday game, you see it. Then you see the Friday, and then you see the Saturday and the Sunday. So it's all one big thing. So maybe I got to figure out a way to date it. So maybe I'll put, Monday, here's the games, and then because I can type in the description, and I can say, okay, here's the Tuesday games, and here's the Wednesday, and go on and on and on. Because there's a lot of games. I go 10, 11 games. But as I said yesterday, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had 11 games, and I went 9-2. So even though I pick a lot of winners because I'm problem solving it. See, these guys who use the formulas, they don't really know what they're doing. They're trying to steal. They're trying to do it really without, just by plugging in numbers that they don't understand, that are meaningless to get to the. I mean, it's just plug in numbers and we'll see what happens. And I can only play the games where the numbers spit out. So I got a guy in Vegas and he does that. Well, I only found 4 games to play. And I'm like, fuck, I found 10. And I'll go 9-1 or 8-2. And he's sticking around with 4 games because the formula doesn't fit. As we know, the formulas are meaningless. They really don't matter. All right. So let us turn the page and go to 5/18, May the 18th. And let's do baseball first. Now, it's not a full schedule because Mondays and then Thursdays seem to be like half or 3/4 of the games. It's travel days. So let's see. Baltimore goes to Tampa Bay. We'll first look at the streaks. And I think the Dodgers were good, and California, which kept losing to them, are bad. And there was one other one. KC had lost. There wasn't much on the streak. And again, I'm going off of the like usually over through. I want to start with a 4-game win streak. Now it's been frustrating because a lot of these streaks are just going nowhere. So like I got ones and twos. I got ones and twos, and here's a 6-game losing streak. That's California. We know about it. They just lost 3 to the Dodgers. I love how they try to make it like a rivalry, and there's no rivalry in sports anymore. They've ruined it. They've really been ruining like Michigan, Ohio State. All right, 4-game winning streak, the Phillies. So we had the Phillies and a bunch of ones and twos, and then a 5-game winning streak on LA. And that's it. We got a 3-game winning streak on San Diego, but we're going to wait. The problem is they might match up well with the team they're playing. Now they switch series, and that really makes it okay. Let's see how they match up with this one. So that's why I like to wait for a 4-game winning streak. Like I think Philadelphia is pretty hot right now. All right, so let's go back. And let's play. So Baltimore, Tampa. Tampa 139, 7.5. Rogers 5.82 for Baltimore. McClanahan 2.31 for Tampa. So I'm going to go with Tampa minus 139, and we'll go 2 units. If you notice this year, I'm doing a lot more of the teams. Last year, I do a lot more over-unders. I really had no idea. But this year, I'm seeing the pitchers enough. Now, you got certain new pitchers, so I kind of stay away from those games. But minus 139, so I'm going to take Tampa. Rogers with the 5.82 ERA. Tampa's a very good hitting team, and they're 30 and 15. This is a good team. This is a low number considering you got a 2.31 on the mound against a 5.82. And the total of 7.5, I bet, goes over, and Tampa. So I'm going to take Tampa, but you could also probably take the over. Cleveland and Detroit. Detroit minus 146 and 8. Sony with the 5.60 against Valdez 4.32. This should be a lock over, but the Tigers can't hit. Their offense sucks. All these minor leaguers they have on the team. Even this McGonigal guy was hitting like 330s in the 270s now. He'll be 220 soon. And as John Smoltz said, they're not getting enough reps in the minors. So they come up and they're not ready for the majors. And it just goes over their head, and they might have a little success, and then it goes downhill. So I can't trust Valdez. I can't trust Sony. This should be an over, but how do I bet Detroit over when they can't hit, even against the Sony? So they should hit. Detroit, see, here's Detroit's flaw. They'll try to get walks. They all go up looking for walks. They all want 10, 12 pitch at bats. Not this game against the Sony. You want him to pitch 6, 7 innings because he's got a 5.6 ERA. I don't want to get him out after 3 innings and face the bullpen. That's the last thing I want to do here. I want this guy. I want him in 8 innings, right? I don't want to chase him. I don't want to pitch count him. So I need just hit the first pitch and get hits. Detroit can't really get hits. They're not a good hitting team. They prefer to walk, and that's the problem. When you try to walk, you don't know how to hit. You can't drive in runs, and you lose 4-1. So what should be, I'm going to mark it as an over, but I can't play it because they can't hit. Trade over 8, but it's a nothing. If you're interested in the game, yeah, I would probably bet it over. But I'm very leery of the Tiger offense, and I'm not sure how good Cleveland's is either. We'll look better. Atlanta goes to Miami. Miami minus 110, 8.5. Richie 3.43 for Atlanta. Michael Myers 3.26. Miami's got a lot of hitting, as I believe Atlanta does too. I don't really like this game. I can't choose a pitcher. It could be 1-0. It could be 8-7. And I'm going to leave this game alone. But Miami can hit, and I think Atlanta can too. I know they got one guy out, but that should be all right. Cincinnati goes to Philly. Philly 122-10. Lodolo for Cincinnati with his 9 ERA. This guy sucks. Against Painter for Philly 703. So we're going to go and play Philly, and we're going to play him over 10, which is a little bit high. But since he'll probably get 6 or 7 runs, Philly will light him up. So I'm going to go 2 units on this game. See, here they're both hitting, and I know this will be a high-scoring game. In Detroit, they don't hit, so I don't know if they're going to be a high-scoring game. The Jets against Washington, they were pretty hot. They beat the Yankees a couple games. They're looking good. They brought up some young kids who seem to hit a little bit. One guy dropped the ball. We won the over in the Saturday night game because it was a fly ball to right center, and the guy comes over and he takes his eye off the ball and he drops a simple fly ball, and the guy scores from second, which gave us the win. Thank you very much. The Jets is -127, another 10 ERA. Scott for the Jets, a 3.60 ERA against Irvin for Washington, a 6 ERA. The Mets are going to score. Yeah, let's go over here. Let's take the Mets. Namath will have a big day, over 10. And I'll do this for 2 units. I was debating about taking the Mets to win, going against Irvin with the 6 ERA, but right now we'll just take that. Toronto against the Yankees. Yankees 162-9. We got Corbin for Toronto, 397 against Weathers for New York, a 3. I'm kind of curious why the total is so high in this game. 9 seems a little high. I'm not jumping on the Yankees. Toronto, yeah, I'm just going to let this go. I have no feel for this game. Milwaukee against the Cubbies. The Cubbies -159, 10.5. We got Sprott for Milwaukee, a 5.79 ERA against Imanaga. I thought he pitched the other day, 2.33. So we're going to take the Cubbies here. -159, and we'll go 2 units. And that's it for that one. It looks like a Cubby win. I don't want to touch the over-under. Boston goes to Kansas City. Boston 106-9. We got Sonny Gray, 318 for Boston, and Seth Lugo, 381 for KC. I'm going to go under here. I got 2 pretty good pitchers. KC under 9, 2 units. I don't trust either team hitting. And it's Daria. I'm so excited. Just a second. I want to do the fridge again. Damn fridge. So I'm trying to record it so they can hear what I'm hearing because sometimes it's off, sometimes it's quiet. But when you get this motor cranking, it will make it hard to hear. So Daria sometimes gets VPN and sometimes doesn't. And so she was on to text me, and then she probably lost VPN. All right, sorry about that. So we're taking KC under 9. We have two fairly good pitchers that could throw shutouts. Seth Lugo, I like 3.81 ERA. So here's where I look at the 9 and I go, Boston doesn't score, KC doesn't score. You know, it's not like Cincinnati and the Yankees and the Mets who got a lot of hitting. Houston and Minnesota. Altuve is out. He's got an ab injury or something. So I don't know why he got an MRI because he had a funny swing. It was his ab. So he's on the IR. Oh, why are they calling it the injured list instead of the injured reserve? Like, kind of fucking idiots change something so easy. Minnesota, 112, 9.5. We got IMAI for Houston, 9.75. He won't be, not for long in the NFL, against Cookie Rojas with a 0, who's probably never pitched before. Kendry Rojas from Cuba. Oh, so they snuck him out of Cuba. Age 23. Well, he's really probably 30. That was like Louis Tion. He was like 50 years old. They're trying to pass him off. He's pitched in 3 games this year. 2 innings, 3 innings, 2 innings. So he's a bullpen guy. So we got bullpen day in Minnesota against Houston. IMA 9.75 ERA. Good luck with that. Here's a guy's a bullpen guy, and he's only pitched in 3 games. It's crazy. Or he's a starter that only goes 2 innings with a 0 ERA. Hard to say. I don't like anything about this game. I would go under immediately, but I may, with the 9.75 ERA, even Minnesota can get a few runs. And that leaves you with what do you do with Minnesota here and Rojas? So I'm going to leave it alone. I don't think Houston scores. I would think this was an under, but I'm not going to play it. Again, we don't know Cookie Rojas from Cuba, anything about him. Probably a Castro guy. Probably smokes the Cuban cigars. Texas and Colorado. Colorado is playing much better. They are 18 and 29, which is a lot better for them, but they're playing more close scoring games than last year. Texas minus 146, 9.5. Texas is at Colorado. We got Gore, a 4.5 ERA against Quintana, a 3.97. I'm going to go over here. I am appealing over 9.5, and we'll go 2 units. I don't love the game, but I think Colorado will hit this guy, and I think Texas could hit this guy, and 9.5 in Colorado. I think we get there. And Oakland goes to California. California is on our radar as a 4 or 5 game losing streak. Oakland minus 120 and 9 in California. Gin. He's playing Gin. 2.75 for Oakland, and Urena a 3.60 for California. I'm going to go under in the game. I'm going to go Oakland under 9, 2 units. No, Jen 275 and Urena 360. Oakland can hit California, a little bit of hitting. They got shut out by the Dodgers the last two games, I think 6-0. So I'm gonna go under 9. I think I don't trust Oakland with Jen and Urena. I don't know. So I think under is the prudent play there. If it was at Oakland, I wouldn't, but at California. The 49ers are playing the Cardinals in Arizona. We got Montana on the mound today. Arizona minus 130 and 9. We got Montana. Robbie Ray 306 against Zach Gallen, who's a 502. Frisco came alive yesterday, hit a lot. Arizona has a good lineup. I'm going to pass. I think this is an over, but again, I don't like the 9. 7.5, 8. I can deal with 9. Now I need a 10-run game, so I don't know. They might not hit Robbie Ray too well. They might hit the hell out of him, but let's just pass on that. The White Sox go to Seattle, and let's see. Oh, I gotta add a Philly game. Real quickly. Philly is on the winning streak. Philly's playing Cincinnati. Okay, Ladola with the 9 and Painter with the 7. Philly probably wins on the winning streak, but we're going over. It's such a good play for the over. All right. So I was just looking at the streak, and the other streak is play the Dodgers and play against Cal. We just played against Cal with Oakland. Well, Cal and Philly, we both went over on those games, and then we got the Dodgers. So let's go. White Sox, Seattle. The Dodgers play San Diego next. Seattle minus 151 and 7. The catcher who got all the home runs, whatever his name is out. So their run production's down. You got Nick Schultz for the White Sox, who's supposed to be a very good pitcher, but right now he's a 5 ERA pitcher. As John Schultz is saying, he's just not ready. Against Ric Flair with a 3.91 ERA. So we know that Ric Flair, Brian Wu, is not as strong. He got hurt. He's got a 3.91 ERA. So we're not just jumping on Ric Flair like we usually do, especially with the catcher out. So I think this is an over here. I'm going to go White Sox over 7, 2 units. As I said, Ric Flair with the 4 ERA. Otherwise, I'd never go over with Rick on the mound. And then Schultz with the 5. So I think you'll get some hitting. Yeah, the catcher's out, but Seattle's got hitting. And it's just 7. See, again, the number 7, it makes it much easier. And then we got the Dodgers, San Diego. So this is an automatic, almost automatic play. Till I saw the pitchers. The Dodgers 139, 7.5. Yamamoto with a 3.60. Again, they got so many Japanese guys. I don't know who's who. Against King with a 2.65 for San Diego. So I was about to go Dodgers. Then I see King 2.65. Let's see if King's really a 2.65 guy. Michael King from New York, May 25th, 1995. Went to Boston College. And he's pitched in a lot of games. God, he's pitched a ton. Gave up 7 runs, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 hits, 2 runs, 5 innings, 6 innings, 3 and 2, 7 and 4, 1 hit, 1 run. Who the hell? That was against St. Louis. Wow. 1 hitter, 1 run, 1 earned run. So it must have been a home run. And then 6 hits and 1 run. Last time out to Milwaukee. And they actually lost the St. Louis game. He gives up 1 hit and 1 run, and they lose 2-1. Good managing. So this guy, he's given up 4 runs twice, 2 runs twice. A little erratic. I don't really call him that. So let's go with the Dodgers. And we'll go minus 139 and 2 units. Only because they're on the streak. So Philly, They're pitching so bad that game's definitely going over. So I'm not going to go Philly, but Philly is on the streak, and then the other one is California, who plays California against Oakland. I took Oakland under, but it's really no. I'm going to take Oakland. I'm going to change that. Let's cancel that. I'm going to go Oakland on the streak, minus 120, and I'll go 2 units that way. Because the under was very Urena with the 3.60, but we think Gin will gin them and get a 2.70 and on the streak. So I like the pitching matchup. So I will honor the streak there. And, you've got to play the game arbitrarily. So you can play the streak, but I don't really want to play the streak blindly, although I tend to, if it makes sense, going, oh, it's pretty even, I'll just take the streak. And like I said, you keep betting red until black hits. So there's no argument there. All right, so that is baseball. Tampa Bay, 2 units. Detroit over 8, but no bet. Philly over 10, 2 units. You can also bet Philly on the streak, but I took the over. The JETSs over 10, 2 units. The Cubbies, minus 157, 2 units. KC under 9, 2 units. Colorado over 9.5, 2 units. Oakland on the streak, minus 120, 2 units. The White Sox over 7, 2 units. And LA minus 139, 2. You got to keep up. The White Sox has this guy hitting a home run every game. They're scoring a ton of runs because they probably are pitching around them, so it just makes sense. So you must be very careful with the pitcher. And you got to adjust to see. My biggest variable, my strong suit is adapting. That's how I win in football every year, because last year I'm on New England, I'm on Seattle, I'm on Denver. Seattle and New England they didn't play well at all the year before. So you adapted and said, yeah, wait, Darnold doesn't suck. And I think, like I said yesterday, the reason is he's played 5-6 years. And he sucked in the beginning because they rushed him in. He wasn't ready. And then he sat on the bench, and then then he came back to Minnesota, and now he's ready, and he had a good year. And Minnesota, instead of signing him, drafts J.J. McCarthy with the number 8 pick in the draft, and the guy who did that should be fired because he has no idea what he's doing. I watched my draft video last year. There's no way you're drafting J.J. McCarthy 8. Or whatever year it came out, 2 years ago, whatever. There's no way this guy's any good. It ain't happening. So that's the big problem, right? You're not drafting J.J. McCarthy with the first pick. Oh, but the coach is a quarterback guru. Yeah, I don't think so. So Darnold, after 5 years, was ready. Daniel Jones, after 5 years, was finally able to play decently. And that's what you should do with the quarterback. He should never play like Mendoza. Shouldn't touch the field this year. Mahomes didn't. He played the last game of the year. He sat and watched. And then when he took over, he was ready. And they still do it. Jalen Hurts is not ready, and C.J. Stroud is not ready. Lamar, God knows he's not ready. He'll never be ready. So a lot of these quarterbacks are just not really ready to go. Green Bay had it right when they had Brett Favre, and then they drafted Rodgers but didn't play him for 3 years, and look how good he is. And then they did it with Jordan Love, but Jordan Love sucks. Maybe he plays better this year. It's like his 3rd year now. That's what you got to let the guys learn the game and get accustomed to the speed and everything else. And that's the key to it. So we will see. Let's go to basketball. In the NBA, we have one game today. Cleveland won 125-94. It was a nine. It was a 2-19 game. Again, I had no idea if it would go over or under. I had no idea who was going to win. That's pretty pathetic when you watch a 7-game series and the last game you have no idea which team's going to show up. Today we have San Antonio at Oklahoma. Finally, real basketball. Oklahoma's laying 6.5, 221. Winnebago makes a lot of blocks. Oklahoma overall good team, I guess. They're never on TV to watch anyway, and if they are, I wouldn't waste my time. This game's on NBC, so I might take a peek at it. It's at 8:30 tonight. Who do I like? Good question. I don't know. This is a game to watch. Normally, the home team wins game one. They've been rested. They're at home. They're more comfortable. San Antonio's got to get used to it. They're only laying 6.5. Winnebago, very tough. Let's go this route. I'm not going to play this game. We'll play the next game. The loser of this game will bet game two. And we really hope San Antonio wins this game. And then we'll bet Oklahoma in a must-win game. They can't go down 0-2. So the loser of this game can't go down 0-2. So now we've got reason to bet. So that's what we're going to do. And then we've got tomorrow, we got Cleveland at the Knicks. And all we have is a total, 216. The Knicks have been blown out teams. I probably like the Knicks in game one. We'll bet the loser back in game two, and game three, and game four, and game five. Knicks seem very powerful. They score a lot. They win by a lot. They get up 30, 40 points. They did it to Atlanta. They blew out Philadelphia, which shocked me. With Embiid and Maxey, I couldn't believe that they just dominated. So the Knicks are for real. I think they'll win this series. If you're betting the series, bet the Knicks. I don't know what the price is. But anyway, so I would say Oklahoma probably should win game one. It's not that, it's a small line at 6.5. But I'm more interested in game two. Game two now has purpose. You can't go down 2-0. And what you have is very good teams. So if you look at the Lakers Celtics playoffs, they did 3 or 4 of them. I remember, I think Boston won by 40 game one, and then the Lakers won a game two, or vice versa. The Lakers won by 40 game one, and then Boston won game two. Very hard to beat the team twice, especially Bird and Magic. Here you at least have Winnebago against Shea. I think Winnebago is a much better player. Shea flops, which is disgusting. I don't really know what he's doing, flopping. That definitely would not make time travel possible if they flopped it. So that's pretty much sports. Let's go into our economics world. And let's see how our gold and silver price is coming after the 10. It should shoot up now. It's coming up a little. So silver 76.31, gold 45.44. So we can see this pattern of gold just sitting in the 45, 46, sometimes 47 range, going down. A lot of it is people selling, I guess, the gold futures to buy oil because oil is more expensive thanks to Trump. Um, well, let's check the stock market. That's another phony thing. So today the stocks are at 49,475. It's not even real. They're down $50. The stock is just totally. Most things are being manipulated to make it look like they're better than they are. It's sort of like Rocky 3 when he fought Mr. T, and he pitied everybody's fool, and then he said, "Oh, well, yeah, you've been fighting bums, and then the Penguin says, "Well, I've been keeping so it's easy for so you're protected." And he knew he had the hurt eye, but it was all fake, right? Then when he gets in against Mr. T, he gets pitied and he gets killed. And the same thing here. The stock price is not true. The gold and silver paper prices are not true. Again, the physical is. Um, it just isn't close to reality. The physical price, because there's only 200,000 tons of gold, yet you're dealing with 4.3 million physical paper tons, not physical. So it distorts it because it makes the supply higher, which makes the price go down. And it's not true. The real physical price. So give me a physical and give me a paper price. And right now you're giving me a paper price that's so phony in gold and silver, it's a joke. Just like the stock market's a joke, just like Bitcoin's not even real. So this is why we talk about this, to straighten everybody out, to realize this is not real. This is some sort of crazy Hitler fantasy or something. But Hitler was pro gold, so I don't even want to go there. No, I do not like Hitler. I thought he was crazy, but he did understand gold. I'll make a glass of water. So let's put it in a proper perspective. So what we want in Austrian economics mostly, basically, I showed you Mark McGuire, I think yesterday or Saturday. What we want is value. What we want is an honest price. What is the real price of Coke? What is the real Coca-Cola, chocolate cake? That turns into a value for us. What are we willing to trade the dollar for the chocolate cake? And it's based on, well, there's not limited, there's a lot of competition, so it shouldn't be that expensive. What is the real price of gold? Well, we're getting two different things. We're getting this paper with 4.3 million tons that don't exist versus a actual physical of 220,000 tons that actually do exist. So we're getting a cross figure of what is the real price of gold. Now, based on value, which is what we think it's worth, so you've got to see it in the marketplace. So if you're looking on eBay and you look at a Bobby Orr card, you're going to see what the market's valuing it at. That's what you know it's worth. How much is it worth? How do you get to value? And then is it good value for you? So if you see a Bobby Orr card, well, let's go to the Montana rookie. We know what that is. So if you see Montana rookie for $110,000 for a PSA 10, then if you were to buy one, you would consider it the value's 110,000, and then is it a good value for you? Is it worth spending 110 on the Montana? But at least you know that's what it's worth. That's the value. That's what other people have paid for it, and that's all you can do. Now, there's a lot of different markets. There's a lot of different auctions, and sometimes you might go for 90, and sometimes you might go for 120. So around the 100. But what you're looking for is value. And so what does gold give us? Physical gold gives us a far better value for things. The monopoly money, as I say, the house is 500,000 for a house in monopoly money. Well, when that goes away, the value of the house stays, but nobody knows what it is in gold. So all you have is the value of the house in gold. We don't know. In dollars, 500,000. You really can't convert because the dollar is gone. It's worthless. So if the dollar is worthless, then what do you do? If the dollar is worthless, then what do you do with values? You don't really know. Now who's bothering me? So what you're trying to do is figure out the marketplace, figure out what's a good value for you. That's why when we see $20 steaks, we back off. We go, no, that's too expensive. Now, I noticed the New York strip. Yesterday I went and got a rotisserie chicken because I was too lazy to cook. And I saw it was $14.99 on sale. Now, is that a good price? Not normally, it's really not. But when you see it for $18 or $19, so it was like $19.99 now, and they put it on sale for $14.99. What does that tell you? They can't sell it. Nobody wants to pay $19.99 for New York strip. So they lower the price. And this is what I put in the other video. Are prices really going up or down? Well, really, the prices are going to go down, not up. Well, wait, it's inflation. All it means is the money's not worth anything. The money has gone to zero. That's what inflation means. It has nothing to do with prices. The market controls the prices in a free market. If you got a communist or socialist country, they're going to do price controls, which never work because the market has to. If it's too high, the market's not going to buy. If it's too low, the market will buy, but the producer won't produce because they'll say, fuck, I can't make any money on it. So what you're looking for is value. And so when the dollar goes out, you're not really going to know what the value is. What is the value of, chocolate eclairs? What's the value of ice cream? What's the value of eggs? You really won't know that because it's valued in dollars. And this is the most logical thing I can tell you is the dollar is worthless. So everything is priced in dollars, goes to zero. Your house, your car, on and on and on. But it doesn't mean it lost value. All it means is in dollars, it's worthless. What's going to be the new currency? And you need a medium of exchange because you got to be able to buy and sell things with a common thing, right? And they're pushing Bitcoin or whatever stable coin as the medium of exchange, but it won't work because the buyer, the store doesn't want to use Bitcoin as a medium of exchange because you don't know the value of it is. So they don't trust it. It's not real. everybody likes to put it in their hands. Nobody wants to just see a digital dollar go. They're not comfortable. Well, how do I get the money? They want to get the money. They got to pay bills. So in other words, for me to take Bitcoin, I got to pay my electricity with Bitcoin. I got to pay my rent with Bitcoin. I got to pay my eyeglasses in Bitcoin. In other words, so I have to be able to use the currency. So if you pay me in this, or you pay me in our favorite, the euro, if you pay me in this, I can then use it, right? I can then pay my vendors. I can heat and pay rent and pay myself and go to the grocery store and with this. That's why I take this. Now, I might take it electronically in the form of a Visa, a credit card, or debit card, but it's all coming in here, and then I can spend the money again. If I get paid on PayPal for Teaser King, I move it right into the bank and I go and turn it into gold and silver. Now, if I need to hold some of it back to pay my electric bill, then I get the $100 from PayPal and I leave it in and I pay the bill with it. Okay, because it works as money. I know it's not worth anything, so I run and turn it into gold and silver. However, with Bitcoin, can you do that? No, the guy's not going to buy. I'm not going to be able to pay for gold and silver in Bitcoin or rent or the utilities. Nobody will accept it. So it's not a medium of exchange. So what can you do with the Bitcoin that you get? Nothing. Oh, yeah, you can travel with it and do an ATM, supposedly, which I don't believe that an ATM, you can just use Bitcoin. I think that's a bunch of shit. Okay, you're in Germany, and how are you going to use your Bitcoin to get what? American money? Why are you getting American money? Why aren't the Germans using Bitcoin? It's illegal in China to use Bitcoin. So wait a minute. I can be in China. I can't go to the restaurants with Bitcoin. I can't pay my hotel bill with Bitcoin. So what the fuck can I do with the Bitcoin that I'm downloading? So that's why you need cash. It's what you can do with it. Now we buy gold and silver because we know the value. The age of man is failing, and now it's time for the year of the orc. It's the same thing. The dollar's fading. Now it's instead of the orc, it's time for gold and silver. So as the dollar fades, the value goes out. And so the steak that costs you $19 that you get on sale for $14.99, which is still high, how do now what's going to be the price in gold and silver? And you'll probably use silver at the grocery store, and 1 ounce will fill 2 carts with it. And they will take the silver because they can take it if they can then pay other bills with it, right? So one of the ladies asked me about the Texas repository and putting her silver in it to avoid taxes and to take loans out. Just sell your silver. You won't pay a tax on it. There's no 1099 on 1 ounce or 2 or 5 ounces or 10 ounces. It's a lot higher than that. I think it's 1,000 ounces of silver before you get a 1099. They're very crafty with these AI videos to not really tell you the truth. And you think you're going to pay this capital gains tax. Not if you're retired or, unemployed or something. If you don't make 50 grand, you don't pay a tax on it. So keep that in mind. That is your retirement. That will always have value. See, that's the difference in gold and silver. It will always have value. The dollar is gone. Bitcoin doesn't, it's worth something, but you can't use it. So it's not money. It's like paying your electric bill with a Willie Mays card. It's worth something, but you can't pay the bill with Willie Mays. You have to turn it into whatever the currency is that pays the bill. You cannot pay the bill with a Van Gogh or Picasso. I can't use that Van Gogh sitting right there. Let me get my hand out of the way. So that Van Gogh, it's a poster. But let's say it was real. I couldn't use it to pay rent. It's worth $1 million, but I have to sell it to get the dollars to use the dollars. So that's what Van Gogh, so that's the problem of Bitcoin, is to then accept it and then to use it. And you can't use it. Nobody wants it because nobody likes that it's phony. There's a lot of crypto that's been Ponzi scheme. Sam Bankman-Friedman, the One Coin Girl, Jim the Anvil Neinhardt, as we know, Bitcoin guy. So it's all there that it won't hold value. So what you're looking for is to get out of your valueless dollar for something with value that can be used. And gold and silver is, like I said, I can go to the barbecue restaurant and use the silver, and he will take it. And he knows it has value, so he will use it. So what we get into gold and silver with is it never loses its value. And that's my argument with paper versus physical. The value of gold is much higher than the paper price shows because there's only 220,000 tons and they're valuing it at 4 million tons. Well, wait a minute. You got 4 million tons of paper that don't exist. What are you doing? You have 4 million tons that are not real. They're paper, but they're not. There's only 200,000 real tons. So how can you have 400 or 4 million tons of paper when there's only 200,000 tons of physical that exists? It makes no sense. But I'm worried. What if they create a mine and they pull, 500,000 tons out? It's not happening. They've already mined, and all they could get was 200,000 tons. And believe me, if they found a mine that could do 200,000 more tons, they would have already mined it and pulled the gold out of it. So there's nothing really left. Silver maybe a little bit more, but it's still, for the price, it's very cheap. So the values of gold and silver in the physical world that we live in we're not getting proper value for them. That's why I say hold them. And we're not really buying gold and silver to then sell later and take profit on it, because we're going to take profit in dollars that have no value. So we want to get value. And that's a very important thing. So why dollars? Because it's what you can use. People will accept dollars because they can use it to pay their bills, go on a vacation, pay their rent, eat. That's why people accept dollars or credit cards. It's in dollars, right? That's the point. So what they do with the credit card, they then move it into the bank and they move it into cash, and it goes into their bank account. They get $20,000 in credit card sales, and they add it, in. But that's really the key to it is are you getting the value? And that's why I say we're not getting the good value on gold and silver because of the paper comex Ponzi scheme. And that's why we're waiting for the real value of gold and silver, which will be 10 times higher. That's kind of my argument. Well, it's at 4,600 now, so it's really 46,000 because they're suppressing the price. Look at 10 a.m. They're suppressing their price. But the physical price isn't being suppressed. The physical price is, we don't know, but we know they haven't created another 200,000 tons of gold. There's no more new, but the demand is huge. We have a big demand for gold, and the supply is the same, so the price has to go up. Only the price is going down. How can that be? So again, to quote Alligator McLeod, who's losing it. Oh, it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down. Well, now what's happening? Oh, the dollar's going up and gold's going down. How can gold go down when there's only 200,000 tons and there's huge demand? The price can't go down. So he's a little bit full of it there, unfortunately, Alligator. And all these guys who say the same thing, Mark McGuire sometimes. I do have to correct them because the dollar is not any stronger. It's weaker as they keep printing. It keeps losing value. How the fuck can gold go down in that situation? It can't. But in the paper world, they can manipulate it. And that's what they're doing. So with that said, that's what we're looking at. So when we talk value, when we're a consumer, do we buy? What kind of ice cream do we buy? Do we want Coke, or I get Squirt because it's cheaper, or lemonade, or whatever you're buying? So A, you're looking at health, and then B, you're looking at the sugar and stuff, and then C, you're looking at value. We don't think we're getting value for a 2-liter Coke at $3. Hell, at my meat store, grocery store, it's is a lot more expensive, but I don't buy anything but the meat there, or avocados are on sale or something. And they were like 363 for a 2 liter of Coke. The fuck? You're not selling it at 2.99 at Meyer. You're not selling it for three. So when you go to that store, it's terrible value. The salad dressings are more expensive, but the chicken is $2 a pound, and it's very value. And the hamburgers $4.40 a pound, and then the steaks are like on sale for 14 is a good value, because for some reason Meyer and these other stores are the same price as as my Bush's. That's the name of the store. So that's the key to it. So I go there only for meat and chicken, and that's it. And there's no other reason. I don't fruits and veggies. They're like $5.99 a pound for my red and yellow peppers that I get for $1.67 a piece. So the question is that, but the thing is at this store, the red and yellow peppers are like a pound each. This is going to cost me $6, or I could get the same thing for $1.67 at Myers. So the value isn't good on most things there, but it is good for the meat. So again, the value is the best way. It's buying the most for your dollar. What do I get the biggest value for, the biggest bang for my buck? And that's a lot of economics. That's why with these oil prices going up, you're not getting a good value with it, but you need it. Now what do I do? So I can drive around within 20 minutes and get 30, 40 cents cheaper. Like I said, when I go to Alyssa's neighborhood, it's 40 cents cheaper, 30 cents cheaper than it is around here. So if I have to go pick her up or drop her off, I make sure I fill up with gas when I do that. So anyway, that's what we see. So gold and silver will always keep its value because you can't print it. That's the whole idea of limited, right? If it's really limited, it has a higher value. Like I said, the Mantle rookie card, if you ever found a 10, it would be worth $100 million, because there's probably not any out there. But the value of having a Mantle rookie 10, everybody would demand it. Everybody would want it. And they don't care what the price is. A lot of people would take it no matter what the price. Look at this Hannes Whaler card. What was it, 1905? They only made 7 of them. This is a PSA 1 or 2, and it goes for $10 million. It's because it's rare, because they only made 7 of them. And it's probably the only one graded. So they're willing to pay to get something like that. So there's always money to buy those things. Like I said, you find a Mantle rookie or even a second or third year PSA 10, you'll get millions for it. You'll never work again. That's why we need the DeLorean. We need to go back to 1952, fuck 1955, and go to the drugstore there and go buy a baseball card. Biggest mistake of the movie. You could have bought 1955. You could have bought a Koufax rookie and Pete Rose rookie and all that. No, he came out in the 60s. Anyway, so that's what you're looking for. You want to get the best value for your buck. That's why you shop around, right? I bought a microwave at Walmart's. Now they had the regular one was like 100, 100 and a quarter. I got this one, which is like a smaller microwave, for 49. But what am I going to use it for? I'm going to use it to put this in there, which is plenty of room. Put my castor oil for my hair in there, plenty of room. I got chicken yesterday, the rotisserie, which I ate half of. All that will go in there. Plenty of room for that. I'm thinking, well, what would I not have room for? So I don't mind the fridge, except for it makes these loud noises, which irritate me. So again, getting value. Am I getting value for this apartment versus another? The other apartment was $350 more. Did I get value for that? No, because they had a pool, which I very rarely use because I go to my pool every day. And then it's a good school system, but my kids are out of school, so I'm not using that. So a lot of what I'm paying for, I'm not using. I'm not getting value out of it. Here, I'm thinking I'm getting better value. I just need this fridge to shut up. I think they'll fix it. They seem concerned that it's making noise. And I initially said, I need a new one. But really what I meant was, give me a newer one. Give me, and I don't care if it's 2 years old, but give me a newer one than this one. And they do have apartments with upgraded appliances. Well, just give me an upgraded fridge and I'll pay for it. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. I said I didn't realize I was getting such a bad fridge. So my value for this place is not really strong because of the fridge. Now, once we fix this fridge issue, and I don't care, I'll go buy a fridge and stick it in there and it'll be peace and quiet and then I'll be fine. It's like $1,100-$1,200 for your sanity. And we've watched enough Twilight Zones. That's more important than anything. So that's really the key to it. So what you're looking for is value. You shop around to see, like to me, the red and yellow peppers that I get at Meijer's are $1.69 each. They're a little cheaper at Walmart's, but they don't do as good a job. But then, like if I go to this meat grocery store that's more expensive, they're $5.99 a pound. But theirs are mostly like 3/4 of them. I'm paying I'm paying like $4. I get the same one for $1.75. So there's no value in buying the red and yellow peppers at the other grocery store. So I go to this other one and pay $1.69. Just stuff like that. And that's really the key to it is you're looking at that. And that's what you want to buy something, you look at the value. If the price is too high, you're not getting a good value in the trade. What we're doing is trading. We are doing pretty much free trade, where I'm trading a dollar for an item, a service or a good, a bagel, a chocolate cake, a Pop-Tart, whatever, a shirt, glasses. I'm trading. And I got to feel like I'm getting a fair trade in it. So that's where prices come in. And prices dictate if it's a fair trade. Like the microwave, $49. Wow, that I thought was a great deal. They had some for 60 and 70, but I got this one and it was 49. I plugged it in. Does it work? Yep. Okay, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Goodbye. So I got good value on the microwave. That's why you go to Walmart. You figure you're getting better value for your items, but it's good for the veggie, the peppers and the the cucumbers and the lettuce. It's like, okay, they're cheaper, but it's a cauliflower is a cauliflower is a cauliflower. I don't need to pay more for it at the one grocery store than I do at the other. So you go to the other because it's better value for you. So everything's value. Is it a good value or not? And that's really the key to it. So gold and silver, they're keeping the value of it down by the paper. And that's why we bitch. We go, well, let's get the real physical price, the real value of gold and silver. And so that's why I buy it and tell you to buy it, because you're paying much less than you should be. You should be paying $10,000 an ounce. You're paying $4,600. You should be paying $1,000 an ounce of silver, and you're paying what, $75, $76. Now they keep the prices down to kind of keep the value down, or in this case, people needing gold to buy oil, needing to sell their gold to buy oil. So in that situation, because you're doing it, it's a good buying. The value is to buy the gold and silver. And if you can buy it, it's a great steal. That's why, like I told you, when I'd go to my store and I'd buy gold and silver, I would sing and dance out the store. I got 5 ounces of gold, and I'm dancing in my car going, I just got the steal of the century. I was even that when I paid, I think I started at like $18.75 for an ounce. And even then I knew it was worth 10,000. And I told you that. And, when they say predict the price, you really can't predict prices, except for you do know it's worth a lot more. So I can confidently say gold's worth a lot more than $4,500. What the exact price is, only the market will bear when we have a real physical price and we kill this comex bullshit. It's like something the Joker would do, right? It's just not. It's not a real price of it. It's a very good buy price. It's a horrible sell price. It's a horrible value. So to buy it, you're getting a great value. To sell it, you're getting a terrible value. That's why I say you don't really want to profit that. Even though I bought it at 1,800 and it's worth, let's say 5,000, and I almost tripled my money. Even if it goes to 54 and I triple my money, I don't want to sell it because I know it's worth 10. It's worth 40, 50,000. There's no way it's only worth 4,500 or 5,400. It's not worth that to sell. So you don't really want, unless you need money, unless I got to pay bills or go on a vacation or kids at school or medical, unless I absolutely have to, then if it's my last resort, then I will sell an ounce or two. But if you have 100 ounces, you're holding on to 95 of them pretty good. And then you're going to retire very early with all that gold because it's the value of it is huge. And that's really what you're looking at, is getting the high value of it. So that's what value is all about. And again, the reason you take money is because you can use it, right? It is the medium of exchange, which means I can exchange, I can get it in and then I can exchange it back out. So I can, get Teaser King money in and then I can use it and buy ribs and chicken. And that's the whole point of the medium of exchange. It's accepted by everybody. It has to be. And that's the problem with Bitcoin. Forget anything else. It's not accepted. Most people don't want it because then most people can't turn around and use it. Let Michael Saylor tell you on that one, right? With this high frequency bullshit. He's running such bullshit. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But that is the problem with Bitcoin. I cannot turn around and use it. And if I can't turn around and use it, why take it? I wouldn't take Bitcoin. I don't have a wallet. I don't have any way to get to and all it is to me is then downloading it into the bank. And then the bank knows I have Bitcoin. And then could then use it to go to dinner and, pay off a credit card or eat something, pay rent. And that's really the key to it. That's what you're looking at. So you're trying to establish value on things. So on eBay, we have values. We know the Nano card, the Maze card, but we don't know gold and silver on eBay are still using the comex paper. And that's why the value on comex for gold and silver is not, on eBay is not accurate. But anything else that isn't price fixed like that, you get a real price. That's why price fixing doesn't work in these communist and socialist countries, because, we're just going to make eggs 59 cents so people can afford them, but nobody will make them. They won't produce it because they don't make any money. So again, rule number one is it costs me $1 to make the eggs. I can sell them for $5. Okay, I'll make them. But if it costs me $5 and I can only sell them for $2, I won't. I'll get out of that business. And that's what price fixing does. That's why you see empty, like they show you Venezuela and price fixing. And then what they're really showing is that the producer's not going to produce because he can't make money on it. So that's why the shelves are empty, because nobody's in business to lose money. They're not getting proper value and they're not making money with it. So they want to make money to buy other things. So that's why the dollar has to be used by both sides. The producer gets it. He can make his business stronger and update his machines and equipment and tooling, like GM and Ford. They sell the cars and then they retool and then they go to robots and all this other stuff. I don't see the value in AI. I don't understand it. It's just, all it is statistics. It's like saying, statistically take the Tigers today to beat whoever. But that's not going to get you a winner. Let's take the Niners over the 49 over the Vikings. Well, you look at the stats, but that doesn't help you because you don't look at the emotion. Like, you know, what did I say on the basketball? If OKC wins, we're betting the loser back. We're going to bet San Antonio back. If San Antonio wins, we're betting OKC back. We're betting the loser back. Well, that's not AI can never figure that out because all it can do is look at the stats and go, oh, I'd bet Oklahoma. But it's not paying attention to they need the game and the emotion of it and everything else. And that's really the problem of it. So that's why AI will never work. And people are just looking, oh, I can save money by getting rid of the employees. You need the employees, chuckleheads. You can't. You want to run a business without employees? Are you insane? I'm my own employee. And if you bought my business without me, you would never win because I'm the goose laying the golden egg. I'm telling you, who based on gut instinct, based on my analysis, problem solving, and all that, that's something AI can't do. So you got to be careful with all that. All the computer stuff, you got to be very careful. They come out with stuff that nobody understands, and all it means is we're coming out with it, and oh yeah, it works. AI works. No, it doesn't. Not in the way you think, and it's certainly not going to replace people at their jobs. And you're still going to need people to fact check the AI. There's no value in AI, and people are going to buy it supposedly, which I'll believe it when I see it. But it's frustrating anyway, calling a company and talking. You can't talk to AI. Oh, I don't know that one. Is the pool open? Oh, I don't know. You have to call and talk to a person. I love that one. That's AI, right? Uh, it's good for certain things, but if you ask it a question it doesn't have, it's useless, and you can't ask it. Yet I called the front desk and they said, "Oh yeah, the pool's open." So I knew the pool was open right away after talking about it. So anyway, that's what we have. So you've got to be very careful with that. What's real and what isn't. Do we want electric cars? No. We're fine with the gas powered ones because there's gas stations all over. But now yesterday was 95 here. Would my electric car even work? Would it start in the heat? Would it start when it's 10 below zero? Probably not. And then where do I charge it at? I don't know because I only look for gas stations and fill it with gas. I'm not worried about ruining the environment. The environment is fine. We're a planet. We're fine. We're not going anywhere. But they want to scare you. They do that with medical too. Oh, you better get this tested and this checked. And when I went to my place for my glasses, they said, well, you should come every 2 years. And I go, I come when I need new glasses. I don't come every 2 years. I don't need my eyes checked if I stay away from sugar. That's what kills your eyes. That's what kills your body. So if you avoid high fructose corn syrup and sugar, you're pretty much going to be okay. A little sugar once in a while. Make sure you do some fasting, drink a lot of water, have your cinnamon and your ginger and your cayenne pepper and your Celtic salt, and you'll be fine. You don't need to go to the doctor. Oh, you should have a colon cancer check every 2 years. So if I go in and I don't have it, what does that mean? I could get it the next day. I mean, so I'm going to go every day for a colon cancer check. So it's just they try to scare you into getting these tests, which nobody likes. So again, medium of exchange is I can use it to buy other goods. So in its simplest terms, you pay me for Teaser King, and I can then use that money to go buy groceries and pay bills and go golfing and everything else. So I can use it. So it's a medium. So the exchange, it's a trade. You're getting my picks, I'm getting your money, and then I can use that money to buy. But if you gave me in Bitcoin, I couldn't use the Bitcoin. I couldn't go golfing with Bitcoin. I couldn't go to the grocery store with Bitcoin. So what's the point of Bitcoin? That's why it's not money, because it's not used. And it's just a collectible. I don't care if it's worth 40,000, 60,000, 100,000. It's a Greek language to me because but then I got to get dollars, and the dollars are worthless. So the only way I'd get Bitcoin is to sell it. I'd have to get dollars, and then I'd go buy gold with it. So again, we end up at gold. So why don't we just stay with gold? And the price is so cheap that if we do get the money, we can easily buy a lot of gold cheaply. And that's the point. So now we're just waiting for it to go up if we need to sell a little bit. So it's a buyer's market there. But again, that's the problem. It's the medium of exchange is a trade. But because I can use it to get my hair cut, because then the barber can then use it to buy food. So if I paid her in baseball cards, she couldn't use it to buy food. However, if it was a Mano card, she would take it and go sell it and get a lot more than the haircut. So that's what we're looking for, value. That's why you need free trade, is because you don't have everything. Geez, I'd really like the Mano rookie. I don't have it, but I have this nice Kofax card. So I will trade you the Kofax card for the Mano rookie. Yeah, I can. If only I could get that lucky. But that's the point of it. So that's why you trade. That's the purpose of the trade, is to get things you don't have. So we have certain things in the U.S. and China has certain things that they have there, or Japan, or Korea, or Switzerland. You can get cuckoo clocks and Rolexes. So you make the trade because you don't have it, but you want it. So you see a lot of, look at French champagne. Can't get it here. Can only grow in the south of France. That's where the best climate is, and the grapes are sweeter there. So that's why you trade. If you find out that they have the champagne and you're like, yeah, I'd really like that. So if you really want it, you can't get it here. Then that's the point of the trades, to get things you don't have. That's why there shouldn't be tariffs on it. Now you're making it more expensive. The government's getting involved with the trade, which we hate. We never want government involvement because there's no reason for it. I don't need government involved if I trade a card, or I want champagne, or whatever it is. I want to get glasses. I don't need government involved. They stick their nose. Well, we're going to tax you. We want to get part of it. Or how about winning the lottery, or winning a slot machine? You win $1 million slot machine. They want their 40-50%. For what? Well, you made money. It's so ridiculous because you lost a lot of money until you finally won, which they don't count. They don't help you when you lose. Oh, I lost $5,000 playing blackjack. So where's the government helping me out there? Oh, if I'm a bank, I get helped out. Yeah, I forgot when the banks fucked up with the whole housing scandal in 2008. They bailed them out. How about all the people in the Madoff scam? Why didn't they bail them out? Well, it's only fair that we take it from the winners. No, that's not fair. As if the winners knew it was a Ponzi scheme. I mean, it's so stupid. I've never heard of that before in my life. Yeah. By the way, I get a call on a Sunday afternoon. I'm driving to swim, and I get a call from the Federal Reserve. It's a Washington number. I don't think the Federal Reserve's in Washington. I believe there's a New York one. There's a San Francisco one. There's 12 of them, but I think the head one's in New York. So I get a call from Washington. Yeah, we're the Federal Reserve. We see that you've got an open credit. You've got this credit card, and you haven't made payments on. It ends in 1, 2, 3, 4. I go, I don't have a card. 1, 2, 3, 4. What bank is this with? What was it? The Bank of the United States, or U.S. Bank or something. I go, I don't have a credit card with them. I go, I think this is a scam, and I want to tell you to go fuck off. And I hang up on them. Then you call them back, and of course they don't answer. And I got 3 or 4 calls with them, and they're trying to scare you into you have this credit card. Well, it's in your name. It's in your identification. I go, I don't really care. I've never opened up account through U.S. Bank. I've never gotten a bill that I owe anything on it. And they go, fuck off. I go, yeah, first of all, the Federal Reserve isn't in Washington, D.C. Secondly, it's not calling on a Sunday. It's not working on a Sunday. Third of all, the Federal Reserve contacts banks. The banks would contact you. So in other words, why aren't I getting a call from the U.S. Bank saying, oh, somebody opened up a credit card in your name? And I've gotten some scams on that. Oh, Joe Blow opened up an account for you in Arizona. Yeah, well, that's nice. guess what? I'm not getting a bill, and if I get a bill, I'm not going to pay it. I didn't open it up. And with AI now, you can't trust anything, right? Can't trust who I'm talking to. And so the same girl calls me like on 3 different numbers. She got these Washington numbers, and I'm like laughing, going, first of all, the Federal Reserve doesn't contact people about a credit card, and secondly, they're certainly not open on a Sunday. So these guys got to get their scams right. It was totally a scam. So if you get some weird thing from the Federal Reserve calling you about a credit card, it's bullshit. They would never contact. They had the bank. They call the other bank. So they're going to call Chase and JP Morgan and Bank of America. That's going to be the Fed talking to them. They are not calling about credit cards. And I like how they try to scare you. Oh, we're going to do this and that. I said, you're so full of shit. I don't even know what this bank is, and I don't have a credit card with them. I've never gotten a statement. I've never gotten an email saying, hey, you owe on this card. So I basically just told her to fuck off and block it. I like how I end the call and block it. Then they call back on 3 different numbers. And I go, well, I thought you were the Federal Reserve. What are you doing there on a Sunday? So be very careful on these scams on the phone calls or the emails. Be very careful what you open up. You know what you owe. You don't know. Just ignore it. That's all you can really do. Just ignore it and go from there. And that really is it. So what else? So again, money is used to trade. Put it in the simplest terms. I'm trading money for a steak. And instead of giving you $20, I'm using my credit card, which is money, which I have to cover. So it's a loan, basically. Credit cards are loaning you money to buy a steak. The debit card's different because you have to have money in your account. If you have money in your account, you then use it to do that. That's what the debit card does. I'm pulling money from my account to use it. So there is no loan involved. And anyway, so it gets tempting. Hey, I got 20 grand on a credit card, and you start using it. You go on a trip, you pay some bills, you pay this, you pay that, and you got to pay it back. That's why I always told Carmen, I pay with the credit card, but I do have to pay it back. So, and my other favorite was, I don't have a money tree. I can't just print money. Well, you're an American. You're obviously a millionaire. Like, okay, whatever. So that's the key to it. So what we're doing is trading money for that. But we can only trade if somebody will want it. So we can only trade the Mantle card if somebody's willing to accept the Mantle card. Let's say you want to go buy, let's say I'm selling golf clubs and you say, oh, Howard, I'll buy them. Well, I want $600 for them. Well, I have this $600 Mantle card graded PSA 9. Would you take that? Now, if I'm into cards and I'm into grays and I can look on eBay and I go, it's worth $800. Yeah, I'll take it. PSA 10 and I can see the auctions, then I would do it. If you're not, you can't trade it. I don't know too many people would take baseball cards, for tires. Or to pay, buy gas. I'm going to go to Sunoco and I don't have any money, but I do have this, Sandy Koufax card. Can I fill up the tank and then get changed for that? See, that's why. So it only has to be what's accepted. And that's what these Bitcoiners don't tell you. If you get the Bitcoin, what are you going to do with it? You're not paying bills with it. You're not going to Kroger's with it. You're not going to dinner with it. It's worthless. You have to exchange it for US dollars. So it's a pain in the ass to do it. That's what they don't tell you. It must be accepted by everybody to be of value. And that's why we do dollars. And the dollar, the unfortunate part is the dollar has no value. It's going to zero. So people will soon stop taking the dollar because it has no value. And then they'll go to the US dollar number 2. Now, what we're hoping for, what China's done in BRICS, all their dollars are now backed by gold. And so they go to that, right? So it's the dollar backed by gold. So it's gold. It's as good as gold. That's why the dollar lost its value in 1972 when you took gold off of. So it's not gold back anymore. It's not gold standard. Now the dollar's the dollar, and it's not backed by anything. It's worthless. That's why it went from buying a gas for 19 cents to now gas at $5, or filling the cart the whole way in 1970s to now you get 6-7 items and there goes your $100 in the cart. So that's really what trading is. So the economy is based on trading. I'm trading something of value for something. Now barter is when there is no money, and I'm going to trade this this tape. This is a tape thing for my Picassos. I'm going to trade you this for an apple. And you go, oh, it's not worth it. You don't know what the value of this is, and you don't know what the value of the apple is. So you're not going to take it. So that's where money became. It's accepted as, I will take it for the apple. I will take it for the tape measure. That's what it is. I will take it to get paid with. So you go to work, you're going to get paid in dollars. And it's got to be acceptable to you. So you take it because there's no other way. But yeah, I would seriously ask about getting paid in gold and silver. But that's what I told Bobby. And Bobby, by the way, I did see your 87 rookie card in Dunrose yesterday. I went through it. Let me get that for you, Bobby. The Bobby Bow card, 1980. See, it's a spam. The Bobby Bow rookie card, in honor of Bobby, who I haven't seen in class in a while. This is a 1987 Dunro. This is his rookie card. You can see 87. Bobby Bow. His little stats. Career highlights. Appeared to have established himself as a valuable handyman when White Sox traded him back to the Pirates. Ooh, Bobby. 269 with 2 homers, 27 runs, 26 RBI, and 4 stolen base. Look at you. 269. Woo. You'd be a superstar now, hitting 269. Anyway, it's our friend Bobby Bow. We hope he's doing okay. We haven't seen him in a while. He'll be back for football. He's an LSU guy. So again, can I take this to Kroger's and buy apples with it? Well, no, because the value of this, what would they do with this card? They'd have to sell the card to get cash for it. So it's not worth their while to get a card worth $10 and I buy $10 worth of goods, and then they have to sell the card for $10 to get the money for it. And that's the same thing with Bitcoin. They have to sell the Bitcoin to get it, and they don't take it. So again, they don't take that for the bananas. They're not going to take Bitcoin for the bananas. They're only going to take money, a debit or credit card for the bananas, because then they have it. That's the last thing. But it's going to go to gold and silver. Like I say, BRICS is now gold back. So it's very easy to take the yuan that's gold back, and then I can go and exchange it for gold. Hell yes. I would do that in a heartbeat. So that's the way the system works. It's a bunch of trades, because even that's why you want free trade. You're going to trade, like I said, for champagne in France because you can't have it here. And the same thing in China and Japan. They have certain things that we can't do there. And China and Japan don't have oil. And therefore, without oil, they need to trade for oil. And that's the way the game works. They need things they don't have. We need things from them we don't have. And that's why you have trade, and that's why you have free trade. And you do it in dollars or whatever their currency is, something that you can get. That's the thing. If you pay the Chinese in dollars, then they got to exchange the dollars because the dollar doesn't work in China. They need the yuan, or of course gold and silver. So that's the key to it. So that's pretty much what you have in gold and silver. Oh no, we did London Paul, Mark McGuire. Let's see if Egon has a new video out for us today. Trump's trip to China was a win for China. I love it. Anyway, I don't see any. Well, I don't see anything on Egon. No. Anyway, so that's what economics is. It's really about money. It's about trade. It's about value, prices. Prices are information. So I want to sell Teaser King, and I go $100, and I get buyers. Huh? Let's try 250, and I don't get any buyers. So it tells me my price is too high. There's not demand at 250, but there is demand at 100. So I leave it at 100, or maybe try 125. But the price is the indicator of what the demand is out there for my product, being football picks, and now we'll add baseball picks to it. So at $25 for the week of baseball picks is well worth it. The way I'm picking, and it's very consistent. I don't think I've had a losing day in May yet. We're at May 18th, and I had a huge day yesterday. I've kind of figured it out. I've kind of problem solved it. There's two teams. There's a left-handed team and a right-handed team. There's really 5 teams. There's really 10 teams. There's the Max Fried team, left-handed, and a Max Fried team, right-handed, depending on who's pitching the other way. And then we go to the next pitcher, and we go to the next pitcher, and we go to all 5 of their pitchers if they're facing a lefty or facing a righty. And that's the hard part about baseball. It's basically 10 teams. Not only that, then you got the managers with their heads up their ass pulling the starter after 5 or 6 innings instead of leaving him in. What's the point? They all get injured anyway because they're throwing too hard, not because they're throwing over 100 pitches. There is no you've lost the guy for 5 days. You might as well pitch him 9 innings. Like, why are you pulling him? Okay, so the guy, Scooble, my favorite, the biggest idiot. So he plays 6 innings and pulls himself. What is the advantage of pulling him after 6 games? 6 innings. You're not going to use him for 5 days. You might as well go 9 innings with him, or at least 8, let's say. 8 in a Dennis Eckersley in the 9th. That's what you should be doing, right? That's it, not anything else. So that is the point. You need to. You're wasting him by doing that. Well, he won't get hurt if we only pitch him 95 pitches. He just got hurt. His elbow got hurt. You're pitching him 95 pitches every 5 days. He shouldn't get hurt. Oh wait, his elbow got hurt. That doesn't make sense. Well, because he threw it too hard. Oh, so it's how hard you throw that injures the pitchers, not the 100 pitches or the 5 days. So again, it's really stupid, and it causes the teams a lot of problems because the teams are really hurting. There's not enough quality pitchers out there. But then as a bettor, it's hard because we bet him For 6 innings, who's pitching the 7th, 8th, and 9th? Right? So you don't know that either. And you really don't know the health of the pitcher. He might be hurt starting the game. Maybe he pulled a hamstring, or he's got a sore stomach or whatever. You don't know that information. And even with that information might not help you. But see, that's the point. So you're trying to bet that 6 innings with him, 3 innings with these idiot relievers, Larry, Moe, and Curly, and each one's only going to go an inning. You don't even have a 3-inning reliever. He goes 1 inning, and he goes 1 inning, and he goes. So even if this guy throws 9 pitches and strikes out 3 guys, he's not coming back in the next inning. The manager should be fired. I mean, that's retarded. You've got to get him out. So anyway, that's what prices tell you. Prices, you put the avocado on sale for 99 cents, and we buy them. You put it out there for I was at Bush's yesterday getting my chicken thing, and I looked at the avocado, and they were $1.99 a piece. I said, too much. Because I can get them for 79 cents at Walmart, or sometimes at Meijer's, they're on sale for $1. And when they are, I buy 10 of them. So again, the prices dictate from the seller standpoint what the buyer is willing to pay for. So there's a lot of information to get and understand the market. And the key is the market says you sell it here. This is what the market will pay. And when people try to sell things over market, they wonder why they don't sell, because there's nobody there willing to buy it. I'm not going to buy an avocado for $3, especially when I can get it cheaper. So I might buy one, but I'm not going to buy 7 or 8 at $3.99. I'm going to buy it at $1 when they go to $1. So this is the problem. So this is business. Here's what the market will pay, most of it. And so you better sell it here. If you're here, okay, you can raise it. But if you're here, you find you're not selling. And that's the pure indication. Like when Toyota tried to sell their Camry for $35,000 and nobody's buying it. Yeah, because there's no market for it. There's nobody wanting to pay $35,000. You're missing the point. You're missing the market. Anyway, so that's the key. When I went with the Toyota guy, we're talking for an hour, and he keeps bringing up Bitcoin, and I keep saying, basically, I like what I just said now. It's just, it can't be used. If you do pay in Bitcoin, it can't be used. And I asked them, have you ever sold a car for Bitcoin? No. Well, we almost did once in 2019 or something, but it's not like people walk in. If I walked in tomorrow and I could buy, I said, well, I have Bitcoin. Well, they'd make you sell it and get the money and then use the money to buy the car. So they don't take the Bitcoin, and that's the problem. Again, it has to be what is taken. That's money. And what's happening, what I keep yelling about, is that the dollar's worthless. It's lost its value. Well, people will take it because they have to, but I'd rather trade it for something with, so I have something worth no value, but it says 100 on it. And I can trade it for something like 1 ounce silver at 75. That's worth 1,000 of the dollars. So what would you do? Right? That's why you buy the silver, because it can't go down because it can't be printed. So there's a lot more demand than there's. So the markets for silver, the market's up here, and comex is down, and they're selling it to you for 75, and the market's sitting at 1,000, going, we'll pay 1,000 for it, and they keep keeping it at 75. They're nowhere near the market, which is here. It's the only thing that is like that. Maybe gas also, where people are willing to spend more, but they keep the price down. That's the problem with comex. But any other market in the grocery stores and stuff, that's the real market. That's what people are willing to buy for New York Strip or things like that. And that's what it is. And so that's the key. So that's what I'm trying to explain, is so you understand the market better. You understand free trade. I can't get French champagne, so I want to trade for it. And I trade you dollars for it. And that's why, like, you see these trade imbalances, they're bullshit. Well, we buy a lot more stuff from China. Well, because we don't make anything for them to buy, and it's more expensive. So they buy the Chinese goods because they're cheaper. Their prices are far lower than ours. So us and China buy China. There's no point in paying more for the US. So you're talking a trade imbalance. There isn't a, because we are giving them dollars for Monopoly games or T-shirts or whatever China's selling. We are trading money for it. Money is a trade. So when you buy something, you're trading money for whatever for glasses, let's say. And then again, you want value. I don't want to spend $1,000 on a pair of glasses. I just need to be able to see out of them. So therefore, I will trade it. I figure about 300 will be about for the lens and the frames. I think that's a fair trade. If they're a decent, not a real cheap lenses, but as long as they're okay, then that's fine. So that's what you're looking for is fair value. God knows when we date girls, it's fair value. We want certain things and they want, pay me for dinner. Okay, is it going to be a fair trade? Are we going to fool around? I'll keep it clean. Are we going to fool around and I'll take you to dinner? So you get fed and we fool around, or are we not going to fool? So I'm going to take you to dinner, but we're not going to fool around. Well, wait, that's not a fair trade. So that's what you're trying to do is get something for your trade. Oh, but she loves me. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. Keep thinking that. Maybe she does. But again, what are you getting? Again, it's business. It's a trade. So I go to work, I get a paycheck. Is that a fair trade? Well, if you try to pay me $5 an hour, it's not a fair trade because my skill is worth more than $5 an hour. If you're paying me $60 an hour, that to me is a fair trade. But I don't forget the dollar's worthless. So no, the dollar being worthless, I know I got to get rid of it. So when I get my paycheck on $60 an hour and I make 120, I got to get rid of that money as soon as I get it. I got to pay my bills, and anything left over, I got to move it into gold and silver because you're paying me in dollars that have no value. And I think that's the biggest problem people have now. They don't realize they're getting paid in monopoly money. They don't realize the money they have is worthless, so that it's sitting in a stock account or a checking account or bank account. And you think, well, I got 100 grand in there and I'll get interest and I'll make money on my money. And you're like, no, because the money's not worth anything. You are not making money. Even if you did make money on it, it's still money that's worthless. So that's why I tell these people who buy stocks, I go, but you're still dealing in money. So even if you make $10,000 in a silver miner, okay, it's still in dollars. It's still worthless. You still need to trade it for gold and silver. And so that's the point people aren't understanding. You are stuck in that. What else? So I think that's it. So we've covered baseball. We got Tampa, Philly over 10, the Mets over 10, the Cubbies, KC under 9, Colorado over 9, Oakland, the White Sox over 7, and the Dodgers minus 139. In the NBA tonight, we aren't taking anybody. I think we like OKC, but I wouldn't be surprised if Winnebago dominates. So it's going to turn into they're shooting threes, and if they don't make them, then they're going to lose. So normally I think OKC wins, but we want to bet the loser back in the second game, as we do in the New York Cleveland game 1. I might take New York. Game 2 will be bet the loser back. But what's happening is New York, like Detroit, they're very inconsistent. Now New York seems to be like they're blowing everybody out. So we don't want to bet against New York. That's what we were doing. Philadelphia needs the win. We're going to, and it wasn't bought. And the Knicks kept killing them. They just kept making their shots. So if they're going to keep making their shots, then you're in big trouble. So that's what we're looking at. So anyway, so that's that. Basketball, it's a little tough. Football, I guess the schedule has come out Thursday. Mendoza should not be playing the first year. He's not that good. You got to look at Cal, and then you got to look at Indiana. Yeah, he had some good plays, but at Indiana, the difference was shut the fuck up. At Indiana, the problem was um, that you're not. Uh, he had a good line. He had good running, good receivers, good defense. So he had a good team there. So yeah, he can run, and then pass, and it looks good. But is he going to do that on Oakland? We'll see. Anyway, poker's the same thing. You're looking for value. Should I make the call? Am I getting the value? They say the pot odds. Really, that's value. Well, if I put in $10 to make 30, that seems like good odds. But can I win? See, they're missing the whole point. It's if I call, can I win? Not that I'm getting good odds. Good odds should never enter into it. Is it do I feel I can win? It's all about winning the hand or getting the guy to fold the best hand with the big bet. But if there's nothing in the pot, the big bet's meaningless. If there's $30 in the pot and I bet 100. Yeah, you can have that 30 because half of it's yours anyway. So again, it's a value thing. Oh, there's 400 in the pot and you bet $30. Yeah, I'm going to call with a chance to win 430. Then the call is worth it. That's why you got to be careful about the bet. But when there's $100 in the pot and some guy goes 500, it's got to be a bluff because it's not worth it for him to bet the 5. And it's certainly why are you betting so much into such a small pot? So again, it's always about value. And the value of the dollar is gone. It's worthless. So is the euro. Basically every dollar has been printed and worthless. They all have the debt. They all have the Social Security, and they all have the government employees. So everybody went Keynesian. Everybody went to big government and aging population. They got to pay the pensions off for Social Security and this interest on the debt. So they all are in the same boat, which means they're all going to zero, which pushes the demand up 10 times on gold. There's 6 billion people, and 6 billion people need gold now. And there's only 200,000 tons, of which is already gone. Probably 190 of the 200, let's call it 220. So 190 of the 220 tons are already spoken for. They're not gone, but they're sitting in China, and they're sitting in Russia, and they're sitting in India. And what they're not sitting in is the U.S. And that's why the U.S. is in big trouble. Because our dollar is not going to buy it. We're going to need to get stuff from China or Russia or India. We're not going to be able to. We don't want the dollar. We have our money backed by gold. You have monopoly money. There's no value in your money, so we don't want it. And that's the problem. So Trump can run around saying all he wants, but basically we all know he's an idiot. So some of the statements he makes, oh my God. Anyway, anything else? Not a lot of comments lately. I assume it's working. John Z did send some the other day. But feel free. This is the idea of the class. I mean, it's a class. It's a show. We can talk sports. We can talk economics, gold and silver. But the idea is that you can talk. You can ask me questions or comments, and I answer them. But that's why I do it live. But I like the feedback because it leads to me to understand where you're at. All right, I think that's about it then. 2 hours. I'm hungry, and I am off. All right, www.teaserking.com is my site. You can start buying baseball there. I think it'll be there tomorrow, and I will not be giving the 2 and 3 unit picks here. Soon. I might go another day or two, but now we're going to go to Teaser King, and then you'll get the pick. You'll pay $25 for the week, but that's what I am. I'm a football handicapper, so I'll give you one free pick. Maybe I'll do that. I'll give you one free pick here. I give a free football pick, and then the rest you're paying for. And It's usually a pretty good one, and it usually wins. So anyway, that's it. So have a good day, everybody. Take care. Remember, the dollar has no value, so you're going to watch it go down. So don't take a 5% annuity in dollars, then you're still in dollars. And be careful with the stocks because you're still in dollars. And again, Trump is just pushing it up to say, hey, look at the stock market. That means the economy's good. So then don't impeach me. Yeah, we're going to impeach you for all these wars, moron. Anyway, have a good day. I will talk to you tomorrow.